everyone. Welcome to another episode of Words of Heart. In today's episode, we have the privilege of speaking to Minister Kat Rose Warren. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Miss Sanchez. Having me on.
No problem. So, Mr. Kat, if you could tell my audience, no worries, tell my audience a bit about yourself, that would be great.
Well, I again want to thank you for having me on, Sister Dion. I appreciate every opportunity that I get to come on various podcasts, especially those of young people. And I know Black don't crack, but you don't look like nothing but a baby. So I am honored to be on your show. So as you said, my name is Minister Kat, and my formal name is Catherine Warren, and my business name is the Kitty Rose Lifestyle. So Minister Kat is just an abbreviation because I feel like I haven't really grown into Catherine yet. And I think that we have to feel comfortable in the space that we're at. And I know I'm not a Kathy, but Catherine, I haven't grown to yet. So Kat fits, and it's short, and it's to the point, and I'm very meow, so it works for my personality. But I call myself a wounded healer because as a minister, I'm only a messenger. That's all I do is share what I've learned in my experiences, in my journey of educating myself about my relationship with the Creator Jehovah God and how that applies in my life. And then I just tell my testimony, and in my testimony, I give my ministry. And then I use my ministry in different platforms because I believe in breaking through the matrix. So I started in retail with a retail space, and then I evolved as the world evolved into social media, which then led me into videography, which then led me into film work, which then led me into television. So currently I do produce television, and I'm a filmmaker. I direct and create stories for others through my eye as an artist. And right now I'm getting ready to be an empty nester. So that's interesting place to be in because the last 25 years have simply been survival to be a full-time parent. And now I have no kids in the house. So I am figuring out what that looks like. So yeah, I think I know. I have some ideas. I have some plans, but we shall see what actually I do, or how many things I do, because now, with no kids in the house and turning 50, I'm at I'm at a crucial point where I can do everything and anything. I don't have to limit myself to anything because I don't have the same expenses, the same, excuses as I once had. So I'm in an interesting place right now. But yeah, as a whole, that's me. A wounded healer, messenger of our pain, and mother who's now becoming a single woman. Or a motherless child.
Awesome. So you mentioned a wounded healer.
Yes.
That's an interesting choice of words. Do you mind expanding a bit on how that applies to your specific journey?
Not at all. Actually, the first time I heard it, I was completely blown away, and I was like, that's what I am. And I think that's what we're all wounded. I don't know if we're all healers. I think we all have the potential to be healers, but then we all have to find what works for us and what our purpose and what our path. So I feel as my purpose and my past as a minister, I feel like, I can admit to the wounds of just life, the wounds of the Willie Lynch syndrome, the wounds of Satan's deceit and deceiving Eve, if that actually happened. Like, I'm a wounded person, as we all are, from the things that mankind has done that affects the lineage, the children that comes after. And the reason why I consider myself a wounded healer is because my whole life, my whole purpose is in order for us to heal, and heal through examples, heal through messages, heal through words, heal. So because that's what I feel my purpose and my mission is, I have admitted that even though I am a healer, I'm just as wounded as everyone else. I've just figured out how to navigate through my wounds so that I can heal not only for myself, but for my people.
Right. And I can understand that because I'm of spiritual principles as well. And I've undergone a lot of stuff in my life growing up in health deficiencies. Just to give you further insight into who I am. For the first 2 years of my life, I couldn't hear or talk.
Okay.
So that's just a little life story in a nutshell, pretty much, that I've been different since I've been born.
Amen.
I've been considered like the miracle child of my family because I was able to eventually talk and hear, but the doctors automatically decided, hey, your daughter's probably going to be retarded and stupid because of her health deficiencies. And of course, as you are a parent, so I'm pretty sure to have someone say that about your child is just like, who are you talking about? You're crazy. But luckily I did prove those doctors wrong. I wish I could go back and laugh in their face a little bit, but
Okay.
because I did even though the health deficiencies were a part of me, I didn't let that embody who I was. If anything, I let it strengthen me into my purpose and my calling and my path in life. And I rose above and overcome those challenges.
Amen.
And ended up graduating high school with like a 3.0 GPA. So I ended up proving a lot of people wrong simply by graduating high school. I lost the train of thought in this story.
That's okay. You were saying how you too are a wounded healer because you went against the norm of what you were supposed to be and rose above what you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I also, just to continue this journey of healing and wounds, I also got diagnosed with diabetes a year ago at the start of the pandemic, which was not something any person would want to go through when this virus can potentially kill us. Many people in my family had difficulties with that, considering how I grew up. I'm 25, so it seemed like my life was completely together. No more battle scars to have to heal from. But
who told you that lie? No.
Well, I'm just kidding. Just a little
Right.
small joke there. But because obviously we all have to undergo we all have our wounds to have to battle from. But it seemed like the brink of my wounds was at a pause. But I got diagnosed with diabetes. Many people reacted differently. They kind of saw it as a curse, to be honest, because of how I grew up, and she's overcome so much, and now she has to go through this new drastic change when her life is completely together. But I responded it a lot differently than they had anticipated. I saw it as a blessing, not a curse, because if I hadn't been diagnosed, I could have died.
Okay.
I didn't know it was symptoms of diabetes at the time, and nobody in my family knew either. My body was basically eating itself from the inside out. It was a really depressing time in my life. That was about a year ago. I've been diabetic for about a year. Because I had no idea what was happening, but I knew there was some silver lining, even though at the time it was hard for me to see it. I saw it once I did get diagnosed. I did see it as God's way of giving my life more purpose and giving me another chance to live my life. Amen. Because it's the alternative is simply not being here, and I don't want that.
Right. Right. I hear you.
So pretty much since then, I've gone through this whole mantra of being a warrior for change and using my story and the power of my voice and others' voices, just like yours, and sharing them on my podcasting platform. So in the grand scheme of things, if I hadn't been diagnosed, this podcast wouldn't be possible.
Wow. Look at God. Look at that. Not saying that God gave you diabetes, but still.
No.
Right.
Everything happens for a reason.
Amen.
I truly believe that. And I believe God had everything worked out into his grand, beautiful design. And all the gifts he's given me with my talents and skills to create this awesome platform was just a matter of time.
Yes,
And I just love the fact that our conversation and other conversations can help someone who is going through a difficult time right now.
because right now what I've noticed is that what the beauty is that everyone is having the conversation right now. So people are getting a chance to see their stories or their face or similarities in others to help with their situations, to know that they're not alone. But my platform is not just about, okay, you see yourself in me and you know that you're not alone. What is the tools? What are the steps? What do we need to do? And that's what we have been lacking. It's all great to have the conversation. It's all great to share each one of our stories. But if we're not educating ourselves, if we're not teaching ourselves, each other, how to use the tools that are necessary in order to be better, in order to live better, in order to feel better, then all these conversations are still in vain. They're still just more clouds or more blurs that's trying to distract us from our real purpose, which is happiness and being accountable so that we can be happy, because we're not on this plane to just be. We're not on this plane just to be miserable. We're not on this plane just to keep trying to, figure ourselves out in circles and circles and circles. Jehovah God has given us the tools, but man has blinded us. Man has distorted us. Man has deleted stuff. Man has lied. So our connection to the Creator is not as strong as it needs to be for us as individuals, as sinful individuals, to be accountable to move forward, because we don't know how. We don't talk about it. We don't share the experiences. We don't share the examples. We're too embarrassed. We're too ashamed, or we're too busy. So I think what has happened in this last year, due to COVID, with all of these new platforms emerging, wonderful, great. Creativity, the arts, that's always the thing that helps kind of fuel us. But now we don't need just to be fueled. We need to survive. We need to what is the word I'm looking for? We don't need to just be and exist and just have fuel just to kind of get through the day. I want folks to live. And I think that sounds so broad, but I hope you're feeling what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
I do.
Because I think, so much of us think that we're living, but we're on social media, or because of COVID now, we're quarantined, and that's not healthy and looking good for a lot of us. So it's an interesting place to be in right now. It's a good place to be in because it does allow us to reflect and understand and move through some things in our head, but we're still going to be in the same place when everything supposedly gets normal or better, if we don't take some accountability of ourselves, look in the mirror and say, how do I get better? What do I need to do to get better? And I use my platform to do that, because, these 47 years, I've gone through ups and downs like everybody else. I've gone through shit like everybody else. But for the most part, I've had a great life. I've done what I wanted to do. I have good kids when I'm not fighting with them. You know what I'm saying? I, have great people in my life when I choose to talk to people. But overall, my bills are paid. I have a beautiful home. Like, I've been able to not be the statistic and being the statistic of a typical, girl from Brooklyn, on and off welfare, parents, divorce, mother abuse. You know what I'm saying? Like the same fucking story, but the fact that I've lived on my terms for almost 47 years is definitely a testimony that a lot of us cannot have, do not have.
Right. And I feel like this pandemic, though really, really unfortunate, has really given us a chance to pause in the chaoticness that is life and like re-examine and open our eyes to what truly matters, and to focus more emphasis on like our like just trying to think of an example off the top of my head. with racial equality, many people stop to realize, I'm not going to go too into that because everyone has their own opinions and I'm not going to open a can of worms.
Right.
But that is a topic that has really been a cornerstone of discussion this season, and the fact accepting of people of all different backgrounds in spite of their different viewpoints, because this virus is really unfortunate and we need to not be pinned up against each other and be at odds with each other, when really we need to be unified with each other, just as God has called us to do.
Amen. But again, another distraction of making people feel that we're so disconnected and we're so different from each other, when and because of that is why so many of us don't see our story in other people. Unfortunately, again, I'm like you, I'm not going to touch the topic too much, but I think that us as a people getting to see a certain race be attacked on the full screen as often as they has allowed folks not only to be mindful of Black folks that are being killed, but other folks, because racism is not a Black and white issue. Police brutality is not a Black and white issue. Unfortunately, the Black issue allowed folks to know that racism actually does exist on such a broad scale, you know what I'm saying? And it allows folks to kind of really take notice of their own behavior, of their own thinking, and how they move in their circles with people of different color skins than themselves. So that's been a beauty, because, a lot of us, I was on an interview last week, and white girl from Scotland, and she was telling me about being racially profiled because she's not English. And she now works in England, but because she's Scottish, they give her shade. And it's like, wait, what? Now, it ain't the same as a police fucking shooting me, you know what I'm saying? Or with his neck on, or with his arm on my neck. But the same type of, you don't see me and you just trying to control me, is the same shit across the board. But again, once we get understanding of really what's happening and really why the world moves the way that it does, it allows us to be accountable for our behavior. I didn't go out, folks might think this is kind of funky, but I didn't go out. I've been to marches, but last year I didn't go to any marches. I didn't protest, because my feelings was that the work I needed to do was in my home. I got 3 kids. 2 of them are males, 25 and 22. My job is to teach them and educate them how to move out here in these streets. I got a 17-year-old daughter who's about to go to college. My job is to teach her how to move about and be a lady in these streets, and how to carry herself so that she knows what to look out for, how to handle herself. Same thing with my boys. So if I do the work that's necessary in my home, teaching them what they need to do as productive citizens or productive people in this society, then I'm doing my part. Because protesting, marching, writing bills, changing legislator, all of that matters. But if we don't take accountability for our own actions and understanding, that shit is for the birds. It still don't mean anything, because I don't live in DC, thank God, because that's the highest rate of adoptions, but I don't live at the White House. You know what I'm saying? I don't live where those decisions are being made that I have very little to do with. I live here, where all the decisions I have are my responsibility. So what I teach my children, how I live my life, how I am to my people, that is the difference that you actually make in being the change that you want to begin to see, or that you want to exist around you in the society that we live in. Because things are going to get better, but things are going to get worse before they get better.
Right. Amen to that.
Hey,
that's a hardcore fact right there. So I do have an icebreaker question for you.
You said I'm going to like it. Okay.
Yes, many of my kids like it. So if you could have any superpower that's not flying, I have to take flying off the table. Many people go for that answer,
Okay.
but I have to make it difficult because life isn't easy. So my question shouldn't be easy.
Okay.
If you could have any superpower that's not flying, what would it be?
Since I was not prepared, she didn't send this in the email. Give me a minute. Wait. What superpower? And it's funny, I've done 50 million interviews and have not been asked that question. What
It's a good question.
It is a good question. What superpower? Oh, let me think of the superheroes. No, I don't know if it's a superpower, but I would like the ability to heal, because I'm a healer anyway. I would love the ability to touch someone and they're no longer a diabetic. I would love to touch someone and they're no longer, whatever ailments that they have get removed from my touch. Wait, I got one more, I think, though. So wait, because now I'm like, okay, my mind is like, ooh, what else could I do? I would probably, no, I think that's it. I think, yeah, my touch. I would love to have healing hands.
That is an amazing power to possess. And it is a power. I mean, God had the power to do that when you think about it.
Well, back in the day, they said there was some healers. Mahalia, did you see that story? Mahalia said somebody walked at one of her sermons. Somebody got up off the wheelchair. So I don't know if that story is true or not. But yes, Lord, we've had some superheroes in the past that have had the power of the healing hand. So I think I would love that superpower. Yeah.
Absolutely. The power, it's not, I don't even know if it's considered to be a power. I think it's a possibility that can happen in the future. It would be the power for this podcast to be heard across other galaxies that have yet to be discovered.
Okay. Wait, that you have yet to be discovered, because there's quite a few galaxies that have been discovered. So can we deal with those first? Can I see? We still got 6 other planets we ain't been on yet. What the hell? Wait, is there 7 or 9? I haven't been in school in a minute.
I have no idea. I should know, I'm a college student, but I have no idea. But I'm thinking outside the realm of natural thinking.
Okay.
Galaxies have yet to be discovered.
Okay. Amen.
Intergalactic broadcasting.
Why not? Why? But I tell you, Dion, due to all of this Matrix shit and these recordings, we might be heard in some other galaxies. There might be some AIs out there like go Mr. E. They got their own language and they like pumping us up. So you never know, due to this freaking Matrix, who is hearing us. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry.
Don't be.
I'm a minister, but I do cuss and I do smoke weed. Yes, I am one of those kind of ministers.
Own who you are. No judgment whatsoever. And I'm having a blast talking to you.
Well, I'm glad.
Well, we're at the end of this awesome conversation.
Already?
Yeah, I'm sure the Martians are mad at me. And they're gonna throw like fire rocks at me at any given moment and tell me to keep talking.
Or they're gonna say, "Bring her back."
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you have any social plugins to tie in? Is it pastor or minister? I don't know the right abbreviation.
When I got baptized, it was minister. So minister. I guess because I don't pastor a church, I just minister a message. Okay. Minister is probably the safest title to recognize me as. But yes, I do have social media platforms, of course. 2021, who doesn't have a social media platform? So again, if you Google Kitty Rose, if you Google Minister Cat, you'll find me because I have done the work like you found me at the top of the Google search. But on YouTube, I would love everyone to check out my YouTube channel. It's Ms. Kitty Rose 1. That's all one word. So that's MSKITTYROSE, the number 1. all one word, Miss Kitty Rose 1 on YouTube. You can check out all my contact and this interview when Dion releases it to me, because I put everything on my YouTube channel. So you will get to see and really know what I'm about up close. So you can see my television shows, my trailers for my films, like get the whole gamut if you just follow me on YouTube at Miss Kitty Rose 1. I don't know who I'm winking at. No.
This is awesome. I can't stop laughing. Thank you, Mr. Kat, for joining me today.
Girl, it's all good.
To all, I can't stop laughing. To all my listeners, stay healthy, stay safe. Please speak up. Please don't keep your voices silent. And until next time, bye.